Today I have my old and good friend, not old in terms of age, but in terms of how long we know each other because still pretty young, Luigi from Spain. And we're going to have a little chat with him about life, languages, travels. So I'm just typing it here about life, languages, and travels. And we're going to start in a couple of minutes. Just we'll wait Instagram to send out the invitations, let people know that we're starting, and obviously wait for my friend Luigi as well to be here. And we're going to start in a few minutes. So if you want to, you can go grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your cup of water, and then we're going to start immediately. Hey Thor, how are you? It's good to see you, man. And soon we should make a chat like this as well. Let's catch up soon, brother. So as I said, for the newcomers, we're going to start in a couple of minutes. If you need to grab anything, then grab it and come down and join this conversation. At the end, we will also have time for questions. So if you have any questions, you're free to ask. And meanwhile, I'll be waiting for Luigi as well, who should be here in a second. And Luigi, if you are here, just please send a request to be in the live chat, and yeah, then we'll start. So let's wait for one more minute. Love you too, Thor. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, brother. All right. So today, basically, we're going to speak with Luigi, who is a friend of mine since I know him since 10 years. We have met. We were working together in our student association that I often mention, AG, which is a student association that promotes diversity, multiculturalism, cultural awareness, higher education. And we both started that organization very young. I think he's like a couple of years younger than me. But when we met, I guess he was 20 and I was around 23, 24. He came to one of our events where we were discussing about people's perceptions in Europe. But then we have met in different places in Europe, and then we built up friendship, and we still follow each other. And he's a very inspirational guy. He travels, he speaks languages. He's Spanish originally, but he speaks very good English. And we're going to have this conversation in English, but we will also try some Spanish and Russian perhaps. And apart from that, I'm sure he speaks more languages. I know he speaks very good Russian, but I don't know if he speaks more, so we'll ask him. So Luigi is here. I'm going to invite him without further ado. Luigi, if you could send a request to be in the live chat, I will accept you immediately. So if you can, just please send a request. If you don't know how to do it, I'll just take you in. So I'll wait for you for a second. Luigi, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be with you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The only problem, Luigi, that you are not vertical, you're horizontal, so you have to flip your phone.
Okay. So let me.
It doesn't work like that. You can't put it horizontally.
Okay, 1 second.
All right.
And I good.
Yes, you can maybe put your camera a bit down so your head is more up because it's a bit.
Like that, right?
Yeah, fantastic. How are you?
How are you doing, man? Fine. I'm fine.
I'm good. Good to see you, brother. How is everything? Where are you right now? You're in Madrid, right?
Yeah. In the capital
Right,
of Spain, Madrid. Yeah.
The capital of Spain. So before we start, maybe you can shortly introduce yourself. Like, where are you from? What did you study? In which countries you lived? Like, very shortly for people to have a better idea about you.
So yeah, I'm 31 years old. I'm from Spain. My father's family is from a small town called Zamora, and my mom's family is from Madrid. So I'm kind of Madrileño, kind of. You can say that, yeah. And I studied my bachelor in translation and interpreting. So I'm really keen on languages, and I currently work as a translator. And then I did a master's in tourism management, and that was thanks to the Erasmus Mundus program. So thanks to that program, I studied I did my Erasmus in my bachelor in Belgium, but then this Erasmus Mundus, I did it in Denmark, in Slovenia, Ljubljana, and in Girona, in Spain. So that was a really cool experience because it was a kind of, mix from all over the world, 35 people.
All around the world.
Yeah, like living, studying, and traveling together, from different places in Europe. Gave me like a bigger picture of, the world, because I haven't traveled as much as you, like to America, to Asia, and I have traveled quite a lot, but not that far. In Europe a lot, but I still have a lot of, pending places to go. So apart from that, I have lived in Russia, in Voronezh, and in Moscow. I did a volunteering project in Voronezh for 6 months because I wanted to learn, like to up my level in Russian language, and I found a volunteering project. And to that, I could, like get a professional level in Russian, and then I was living there for, in total, about 2 years. And currently, it's like my main, I could say, field of expertise /
Russian,
passion.
So, did you only live in Voronezh for these 2 years, or did you live in other cities as well in Russia?
I lived in Voronezh 1 year and 2 months in total, and then in Moscow for half a year. So close to 2.
Okay, we'll talk about that. We'll come to that. I'm curious about your travel experience as well. But now the languages that you speak are Spanish, English, Russian. What else?
Yeah, like those are my 3 professional languages. And then I lived in Barcelona for a year. And in Barcelona, it's like a region in the north of Spain where they speak another language, which is Catalan. And it belongs to the same family of Spain, same as Spanish, like Italian, French, Portuguese, Romanian, and Catalan. So it's quite easy to understand and to grasp, but as far as I am, very good on languages, and I don't like to be just like a passive, listener. I wanted to actively learn and speak. So every time that I go to Catalonia, I use it very frequently.
All right, that's cool. That's nice.
And it's like a really good asset because, people who have it as a first language, like they use it as their mother tongue. They can speak Spanish as well, but it's nice for them if you speak their mother tongue. And besides, if you are from another part from Spain, it's like quite a shock for them.
They appreciate it, yeah.
Because it's like, you don't need to, but but I try to focus on languages not as a tool to, of course, it always gives you also, a possibility to earn more money or to rise and grow professionally. But I take it also as a human thing, to share with people, to get closer to people. And I think now that you are in Peru, you are probably feeling it, right? Like if you speak to people in Spanish, you get like another picture of their lives and their experiences.
Obviously, I mean, I think it's an important point not to just focus on or trust to the fact that you can speak English or whatever language is spoken generally there, and not try to understand at least even a little bit the local language or the dialect. Because once you do it, well, first of all, it's good for you. It's a good brain exercise. It's never bad to learn languages. But secondly, people really appreciate it. And then you connect much better with the people there. And then you become less of a tourist and more of a traveler, actually. So this is what I think. So I'm sure you resonate with that also. I'm sure when you go to Russia, as a Spanish guy who speaks Russian fluently, I'm sure they're shocked at your Russian. What are the reactions in Russia that you get when they hear you speaking Russian?
Yeah, first reactions, people always ask, like, first of all, why are you here? Like, почему ты из Испании приехал в Россию? Да? Like, why are you coming from like sunny and
such an amazing country to this shitty country? That's what they think.
Yeah, a really good image and a very good reputation in Russia. So they see themselves like, like wild and cold. And it's like, how are you, like, why would you come? Why would you learn, right? Like, but then after, at the beginning it was like the same conversation over and over and over, like, you know, like boom, 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 many the same questions all the time. Like, why are you here? What's the most difficult thing in Russian? You know, what do you like about Russia and so on. But then once you get like a good level, like you can ask back another questions, and you know, like
it becomes a conversation at the end. When you improve your level. And
people are really, you know, friendly, and they are really, you know, I wouldn't say open-minded, but they like hospitable, right? Like they embrace you, they embrace foreigners if they see that they are like, that foreigners are interested about Russia and their culture and their language. They are really, you know, like they open your house, they open their, you know, their hearts, everything. So you can get a really good like feeling, even if you don't know the person that closely. If they get like a good vibe, you know, they have a lot of in Russian, the word dusha, maybe you know it, it's soul.
And soul. Yeah. No, I don't know the word, but yeah, it's a new word for me, dusha.
Yeah, dusha. And they talk a lot about ruskaya dusha, right? Like the
Russian soul, yeah. Like Russian hospitality, I guess, like in a way, right? Their spirit, their culture,
yeah.
I understand.
Their culture, something like that. And I have really felt this concept, you know, for example, in this volunteering, I was working in summer camps with small kids, you know, not that small, but, you know, from 7 years old till 16.
Yeah.
And, you know, like in the woods, just like living kind of, you know, wildlife in tents and swimming in the river every day and so on. And I got like this feeling of community, of Ruskaya Dusha, like they are really, you know, they care a lot about feelings, about what's going on inside you, your personal development. And that, I get the feeling that people in Europe, in Western society, don't really have that image about Russia. But then once you get into their culture, you get to know that they are like really these kind of people, soulful people, you could say, right? What do you think?
Well, yeah,
you've been there as well, right?
I agree. I mean, Russia is one of the countries that has a bad reputation in the world generally, like the Russian mafia and drugs. But obviously, it's never like this. Like countries like Mexico or Russia, you know, like that has a bad reputation. Once you go there, you see that it's completely bullshit. I mean, it's super superficial because, I mean, they are not able to promote themselves well, like the Americans, for example. So they suffer a lot from that. So it's not a tourist place. Only travelers like you go, mostly. And once you go, you really understand that people are not like that. People on their core, that they're nice and hospitable. And yeah, when you think of a Russian, you think about a guy who never smiles, speaks with an accent of Russian. But yeah, when you go there, you see that even though they smile less than a Mediterranean, but maybe because it's too cold, they're super hospitable and super nice. And yeah, and Russia has an amazing culture as well, like their musicals, their theater, their poems, their songs. So there's a lot to discover in Russia, I guess, right? I mean, you know better, obviously.
Yeah, there's a huge like interest about culture, you know, as you said, like literature. They have like Pushkin, Tolstoy, Dostoevsky. They are like
amazing, right?
Every kid knows like the name, the patronymic, the when they were born, you know, all their famous
everything about
them. Yeah. Yeah, and
I'm super interested in their history as well. But I would like to rewind back a bit about you, Luigi, because I mean, I wanted this chat with you and not like one-on-one, but open on Instagram and then we put it on YouTube. I want to do that because I think you represent a good example of how a young person should live his or her life. Because, you know, a lot of people, I'm sure in Spain it's the same, but in Turkey and a lot of countries, people feel trapped, that they feel that they can't reach their full potential, that they can't travel as much as they want to. Money is a problem, time is a problem, like everything can be a problem. And there are a lot of reasons for that. But you, I guess, show, people like you and me, we show that we can break this way of thinking, break this structure, break that status quo, and actually do something that would make us happy, and at the same time where we could contribute to the world. So I think you're a good example on that. So I wanted to ask you, how did it start for you? Like, do you have some specific memories on where you said, okay, I want to do this, and I want to join a student organization, and I want to travel, and I want to learn languages? what was some parameters for you to start having a life where you actually feel fulfilled?
Yeah, that's like deep and interesting question. I would say, like, I remember when I was a teenager and I was starting, to think about what do I want to do when I start university. And I started thinking about, like, wow, languages, are nice. I'm good at English in school. I liked, for example, the NBA. So I was reading a lot, Pau Gasol in 2001, he went to the United States.
And now he's back to Barcelona, by the way.
Yeah. Like a couple days ago, he signed with Barcelona for 6 months because he wants to reach the Olympics in Tokyo for,
Okay.
like setting farewell in his career. So 20 years ago, when he went first time to the United States, I remember, like, I was like very impressed about the NBA, about English, about, the possibility to start myself traveling. I remember watching the World Cup in 2006, Football World Cup, and we lost against.
That's what? That was the one that Italy won, no?
Yeah,
against France.
6 in the penalties against France with Zidane's headbutt.
Yeah. Materazzi.
Yeah, I remember that World Cup, and I was 16 years old, and I thought to myself, wow, it would be nice for the next World Cup in 2010 that I could, like, go to South Africa, because by that time I already knew that it was going to be in South Africa, that I was going to be 20 years old when that happened. So, like something that slowly you cook, like the slow fire in your mind, like starting to travel ahead, like planning ahead your trips and your dreams. Like, I want to go to South Africa. And I thought of that 4 years before. And then I found the possibility to go there as a volunteer, in the FIFA.com/volunteers. Everyone could apply for that. I did it, and it actually was possible. In February in 2010, they sent me an email. I had an interview in the embassy in South Africa. And so, they confirmed me that I could go to South Africa to work as a volunteer. But then once I was accepted, I was like trying to know what I was gonna do, because going to South Africa for a month was like a big trip, a lot of rumors, like it's dangerous and so on. And then they told me that I could work with Spain, with the Spanish team, giving them the balls, moving the goals, taking care of the grass and everything.
Oh, nice.
So that's an example of a thing that I projected in my mind. And if I did it, all the steps that I had to do, I did it with a lot of time ahead and previewing, or kind of putting myself in the position mentally before even it happened, right? And then eventually we won the World Cup. Spain won for the first time in history. I was in the team, I was working along with the team. So that's like one of my brightest memories of, wow, I want to travel. I want to do something which is like kind of hard and international, and it looks surreal. But yeah, like
you did it.
It's possible if you like think ahead and through the system of volunteering and speaking like decent English. That's the only basic requirement that they had, that you are like kind of sociable and you could like explain yourself in English and be functional. But apart from that, if they see that you are a person that wants to contribute, as you said, then I think that the doors are pretty much opened everywhere. And of course,
sorry, with your story, I realized that things that people think are impossible to achieve can be actually very easily, because a lot of people would say, how can I go to the World Cup? It's impossible, it's too expensive, but you found a way to do it for free, or at least for very little cost, to do it as a volunteer, and you spent an amazing time with amazing people. By the way, who were playing in the Spanish national team back then? Was it you were with Xavi, Iniesta, Sergio Ramos? Was it that time?
Yeah.
Busquets.
The final was Spain Netherlands, and it was Casillas, Sergio Ramos, Puyol, Piqué, Capdevila, and then Xavi, Iniesta, Xavi Alonso, and Villa, Torres, Pedro. That was
my God.
11.
And you got to interact with all of them then, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like working basically with them, you know, in the pitch. And we were 10 volunteers from, all of them were from South Africa, locals, and I was the only one from Spain. So I was being the, you know, language connection between the team, you know, not specifically the players. I didn't talk that much to the players, but more to the coach, the second coach, the, you know, the physical trainer, and all these people around the team that there are like in the shadow, but there are many people, you know, around a national football.
I can imagine. Who was the coach back then of Spain?
Again? Sorry?
Who was the coach of Spain back then?
Vicente del Bosque. He was the Madrid for, I think, 6-7 years in 2000, from 99 to 2004, I think. And then he was, I mean, he used to be a player in the 70s, 80s. Yeah. And then he won the World Cup and the Euro.
Okay, yes, back then. I think he also coached in Turkey for a bit, in Beşiktaş, if I don't.
That's true, that's true. Yeah, now that you mention it. And also we have now Guti, you remember him? He was in Beşiktaş as well.
Guti Hernandez, of course. Yeah.
And he's now a coach. He was in Almeria. Yes, he was fired last year, so now he's looking for a new team.
Yeah, true. And did any of the players speak English, or were you the only one that could actually speak English?
Yeah, I have a good anecdote on that, because at the beginning they didn't know me because I was in the pitch just like working with them, but I didn't talk at all because I was just a bit shy and I was a bit shocked of the whole thing. So I remember at the beginning they were telling me, yeah, thank you, when I was, you know, doing something, giving them the balls or
they thought you were a foreigner, okay.
Yeah, and I said, no, chicos, que soy español, he venido de España y tal. And they were like, I remember Fabregas, Piqué, they were like, yeah, they speak quite good English, because the ones that have played in the UK, in Arsenal, United,
true.
They speak quite well. But then when they saw that I was Spanish, you know, so slowly, like one day after another, they started to treat me like really closely, you know, because I was part of the team and I could like slowly earn their confidence, you know, and their trust, something like that.
That's it. And is there any one of them that you are still in touch every now and then?
Yeah, I'm still in touch with people from the federation, you know, like as I told you, people that were behind scenes, like inside the team. But not really with the players, because
you don't send a WhatsApp message to Piqué, hey, what's up? How's Shakira?
I would like to, but nah, it's not. It wasn't my. By that time, imagine I was younger than any of them. I was 20 years old, and the youngest player was 21, 22. So now it would be a different thing, right? Like being 30, 31, and they are now in their 20s, 25, 24.
Yeah, it would be
feel differently, right? But at that time, they were like, you know, super fit.
Gods.
Yeah.
Yes, this is an amazing story, actually. Again, it shows how, with a little proactivity, how miracles could happen in your life. Well, it's not a miracle in per se, but you did things that a lot of people wouldn't even have imagined just by imagining it, believing in it, and working on it. And it didn't require like a stupendous amount of effort as well, just like with a little bit of an effort, right? And what about now, Luigi? What are you doing right now, and what are your plans for the future?
Yeah, that's also kind of tricky question, because last year I got fired from my job. I was working in tourism, so with the coronavirus crisis, it's not.
I can imagine. Yeah.
The best industry to work in, and to, you know, to have like very high expectations and hopes. But yeah, like I'm working basically with translations, with Russian and English. I'm also teaching Spanish online. I know that you are also a teacher of English. And
yeah, we're colleagues.
Yeah, we are colleagues in that matter. But yeah, I'm thinking now, you know, I am in a quiet phase of my life. Like I'm not, you know, I don't want to rush things, because everything is like right now very low and very settled. So I'm in a period when I want to take things like slowly, work on my goals, and still like, you know, motivated with my hobbies, my languages, and, you know, to grow slowly. And then probably in, I don't know, 3-6 months, I will see things with a little bit more perspective. But yeah, I would like to, of course, keep in touch, you know, with all this professional career, like linked to languages and to tourism if possible.
Okay.
Sport
So
industry, I would
basically doing what you like to do, so you want to keep on doing that in the future as well, right?
Yeah, maybe like kind of reorientate myself in as I told you, in sports. I told you like privately that I would like to find like some professional path in maybe in tennis world and in football world, something mixed with languages. I don't know, some sort of agent for players, interpreter, translator. That would be something, you know, that I would love to make a career out of. But yeah, I think it's a matter of keeping like knocking on the right doors and keeping working on myself, and things will come.
Yeah, and being resilient, obviously, because there will always be ups and downs in life, right? By the way, for the people who are watching, if you have any questions or anything you would like to add, let me turn on the comments back again. I turned them off because it was blocking your face. So
A ver.
no. You put your camera a bit more down,
Yes.
Luigi, because your face is super low right now. or maybe you can back away a bit so it takes you from a bigger angle.
Ahí, ¿no?
Sí. Yeah. ¿Quieres hablar español un poco?
Por supuesto.
Por supuesto. Sí, es un bueno practicar para mí también. Cuando yo busco un chico español o chica, puedo practicar en cada oportunidad.
Ahora mismo, a diario, como en tu vida normal, ¿qué idiomas hablas?
Sí.
¿Turco, inglés?
No, turco no, porque estoy en Perú, pero inglés y español. Con mi novia, el peruano, si tú sabes, tú la encontré con ella. Y hablamos español. Yo he probado hablar español mucho, pero es una perfecta oportunidad para practicar mi idioma. Y cuando estoy aquí, yo quiero usar esta oportunidad. Es no mejor es no mejor, ¿cómo se dice way? There's no better way. Es no mejor.
La mejor manera. The best way.
Es no mejor manera para practicar. Si tú tienes algo persona en tu casa que tú vives, es perfecto. Mi novia escribir ahora, mira. ¿Tú ves? Ella en la otra cama.
Lu Bautista, ¿no?
Sí, Luisiana, ella.
Luisiana.
Sí. ¿Quieres decir hola a Luisiana otra vez?
Luisiana, ya vimos hace poco en la llamada con Percin. Un beso muy fuerte.
Ella es decir a tú, no olvidar cuando tú vienes a Perú, tiene una cama aquí, tiene una casa que tú puedes.
Claro, me invitó a ir a Perú y yo también la invito aquí a España, claro, cuando vengas tú también a Madrid, porque tú estuviste en Madrid por última vez en 2015, ¿no?
Yo sí, 2015, no, sí, no, 2016, sí, eso. Sí, pero Madrid es una de mis ciudades favoritas. Me gusta Madrid. Por ejemplo, muchas personas amo Barcelona, sí, yo gusto Barcelona también, pero para mí Madrid es más especial. No sé por qué, pero sí, yo gusto Madrid mucho. Sí, yo extraño Madrid, un poco también. Yo espero voy a venir a Madrid pronto, tal vez con Luisiana.
Sí, ojalá podáis.
Sí. En España, Luigi, ¿tú usas la palabra ojalá también?
Sí.
Ah, sí. Yo creo, esta no, pero sí, yo creo solamente personas usan ojalá en Latinoamérica, pero no en España también, entonces.
Sí, es una palabra de origen árabe, viene de inshallah.
Sí, lo sé. En México, cuando yo tomo una clase, mi profesora dime, en ese es muy lógico. Ojalá, inshallah, sí.
Claro, entonces
creo
siempre para algo que deseas, ¿no? Algo que quieres que pase, algo que quieres o que te hace ilusión.
Ojalá nos reencontremos, sí.
Claro,
Sí.
Ojalá nos veamos, ojalá vengas a verme, ojalá te salga bien el examen, ojalá encuentres lo que buscas. y así.
Sí. ¿Te visitaste América Latina también? ¿Tú me dices sí o no?
¿Cómo que no?
¿Te conoces? ¿Te conoces? ¿Tú conoces Latinoamérica también?
Solamente he estado en Cuba
Cuba.
y en Estados Unidos, en Miami, 2 veces nada
Así,
más.
solamente Miami.
No
Ah.
conozco ni Sudamérica, Brasil, Argentina, Perú, Colombia, nada.
Dos viajes para Miami y Cuba ¿viajaste separado o
Sí,
juntos?
porque fui a Estados Unidos, porque un amigo
Sí.
mío vivía en Ohio
Ah,
y fui a
sí.
verlo. Y luego a
Ah,
Cuba.
mi tío vive en Ohio también.
¿Ah, sí?
Sí, para 20 años. Ok, para Cuba solo visitar, creo,
Sí, Cuba
con,
hice un viaje de 3 semanas con un amigo de AEG, de AEG Kharkiv.
no recuerdo. Pero, ¿qué tú piensas con Cuba? Pero Cuba, yo no conozco Cuba todavía, pero yo quiero mucho. Y es un país muy especial, pero ¿qué tú piensas con Cuba? Estoy curioso.
A ver, es un lugar, como tú dices, muy especial y con mucha, ¿sabes? Como dos partes. La parte muy humana, ¿no? Las personas son muy abiertas, muy amables, les encanta hablar, les encanta compartir, bailar,
Sí,
¿sabes? Como vivir la vida al día, carpe diem.
sí,
Y luego está la parte política y la parte de no tenemos dinero, no podemos viajar. Entonces, claro, ahí es difícil porque la gente allí no tiene libertad para poder irse a otro país,
sí,
no tiene dinero para poder vivir bien, para tener una vida, ¿sabes?, cómoda. Entonces, esa realidad de escasez, ¿sabes?, de pocos recursos económicos,
sí,
hace que sea muy difícil ver el país, ¿sabes? Como ir a Turquía o ir a Rusia o ir a Francia y
sí.
al final todo está filtrado por esa realidad de dificultad y de que no tienen trabajo o que ganan muy poco. Entonces es complicado tener como una opinión muy firme, ¿sabes? Porque hay muchas contradicciones y muchas cosas difíciles de entender. Pero personalmente para mí fue un viaje extraordinario. Fue genial, lo disfruté muchísimo.
Sí, yo pienso por un turista es perfecto, pero por un local, por un cubano, es un poco difícil. Yo veo no sé, no película, pero una serie en Netflix llama Cuba Libre, que es como una corta historia de Cuba. Yo interesado en historia en general mucho también, pero sí, estaba el TV serie yo recomiendo para ti, para personas que ver ahora. Y yo estoy curioso, yo no lo sé. ¿Tú conoces Turquía o no, Luigi? No recuerdo.
No, tío, no conozco.
Ah,
Porque
qué mal.
no sé, no sé por qué, pero nunca he encontrado
Entonces,
oportunidad o momento, pero he tenido
es que,
algunas veces que he querido ir a Estambul, a Izmir, pero al final
sí,
no. Tengo pendiente, me falta conocer de esa zona, me falta conocer eh, Turquía, Rumanía, bueno, por supuesto, Armenia, Azerbaiyán, Georgia,
Cáucaso, sí.
en uno de esos sitios. Y me apetece mucho ir a Turquía.
Entonces tienes que venir a Turquía pronto.
Sí,
¿Qué?
Estambul, ciudad, está en dos
Eh,
continentes.
de España el billete es muy, muy económico. Entonces, cuando tú busco la fecha correcta, es muy económico. De Barcelona, de Madrid,
Ida,
como
ida y vuelta,
$100. Sí,
más o menos cuánto.
$100 más o menos,
Ajá.
una vez. En total 200.
Claro, ida y vuelta 200, ¿no?
Sí, más o menos, pero tú puedes buscar una fecha bien, no todo el tiempo, pero sí, especialmente en la día, en the weekday, no fin de semana, sí. So,
pues sí, tengo ganas de ir a Turquía y también de conocer no solamente Estambul, sino la Turquía más continental, ¿no? La parte central, un poco la Turquía más auténtica.
La última año, con la corona tiempo, por 3 meses yo viajaste en Turquía. Yo viajaste a las ciudades que yo no viajé. Tenemos 81 ciudades en general. Antes yo he visto más o menos media 40. Yo he visto la otra 40 también, la sudeste, este. Es muy, muy interesante. Personas es muy, muy amable, muy, muy hospitable. Para mí, como turco, estaba muy, muy diferente, muy interesante, muy amable. Para ti, creo, es más interesante. Pero sí, Turquía es un país grande y es muy heterogéneo también. Personas, la cultura, todo cambió cuando tú viajaste. So, sí, yo recomiendo no solo conocer Istambul, no solo Izmir, Çanakkale, pero es también como Van, Kars, Mardin, Diyarbakır. Es las ciudades cerca de Irak, Siria, Irán, pero muy bueno. Personas especialmente amazing, estupendo.
Muy bien. Es que el año del coronavirus ha sido un año para hacer turismo local, ¿no? La gente su propio país, ¿no? Entonces, si estás en Turquía, pues te vas a otras ciudades de Turquía. En España, pues ir a pueblos, a una casa en el campo, en el bosque y hacer un poco de conocer mejor tu propio país de forma más profunda.
Sí, creo que es muy importante conocer tu propio país también, pero especialmente cuando tú vives en un país grande como España, como Turquía, como Rusia. Sí, es muy bien viajar en otros países, pero viajar en tu mismo países, sí, muy importante también para conocer la misma cultura. All right, let's switch back to English and slowly come to a conclusion. This was a good practice for me, so thank you. Actually.
Yeah, very good, man. Like, very fluent, and you are in the good direction, definitely.
Thank you. And as I said, Louisiana, my girlfriend, has a big role to play there as well. Again, for people who are watching, like being with someone, like close friends, house roommates, or girlfriend, boyfriend, and practicing the language with them is an amazing opportunity. Because in the beginning, it's difficult. I think you have dated with girls from different countries as well, and in the beginning, it's hard to try to communicate in that language because you cannot express yourself as well as you do in your native language or in English. But when you be patient a bit and pass that threshold, then the advancement is super fast and super, like, it's based on a very strong foundation. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's like a bottle, right? Like, you have to go through, you know, the first part, which is like harder, but then once you get into the bottle, then you can like fly free and you have a lot of resources. But there is like going through the small part in order to feel at ease and comfortable. Yeah, like especially with relationships, right? But in every field of life, right? Like, if you want to be professional at a language, you have to suffer at the beginning a little bit and feel like a small kid, sort of, right? Like, you don't understand, you are like naive. People laugh a bit because they understand what you say, but you don't understand what they say. So you have to like be resilient in that period for a while, and then slowly. But the good thing is that you can see results and you can see the progress quite quickly. If you do it like daily and you really devote time and effort, you see the results, and then that gives you like refuels your motivation to go, farther.
Exactly. It is like everything else. It starts difficult at first, but then it pays off. Wait, Luciana, ¿quieres decir hola? Wait, she's here. Let's finish by Luciana saying hello to you.
En español.
En español.
Hola.
Hola, Luigi.
Aquí estamos conversando de la vida, viajes y idiomas y demás.
En español.
Sí, he estado escuchando.
Sí,
Que
sí.
él trabaja aquí, yo trabajo en el otro cuarto,
Sí, tenemos oficinas
distintas.
Sí.
Cada uno en su despacho de coworking, ¿no?
Sí, algo así.
Coworking Lima. ¿Qué tú piensas con la conversación, sobre la conversación? ¿Está bien?
Sí, sí, me gusta mucho que compartan experiencias, sobre todo. Para las personas que están viendo o que van a ver después el video, es muy importante.
Sí.
Sí, me gusta mucho, así que ya sabes, cuando vienes a Perú, acá tienes dónde quedarte.
Muchísimas gracias. Oye, he visto, mañana tienes una charla con un chico de Senegal, ¿no?
Ah, sí, ¿no?
Sí, a mañana, sí. Pero la charla estaba en turco. Sí, pero ella habló muy bien turco. Ella habló inglés y francés también, es por personas turcos. Entonces, sí, sí.
Okay.
Hacemos en turco.
Chao, Luigi, cuídate mucho.
Que os vaya muy bien. Hasta luego.
Okay, Luigi. Thank you very much. This was a nice chat. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we say goodbye?
Well, I am very happy to collaborate in your Insta page and in your project. You know that I have seen that you have a lot of chats with different people from different backgrounds in Turkish, in English, in Spanish. So I'm always glad, you know, to feel part and to take part in such projects, you know, with open-minded, international-minded people. It's always a pleasure, and let's keep in touch, you know.
Likewise. Yeah, I'm looking forward to even further collaborations with you. But thank you very much. This was a lot of fun, Luigi, and I'm sure it has been and will be inspirational for a lot of people. So thank you very much, and take care. Hasta luego, hermano.
Thank you. Gracias, tío. Hasta luego.
Bye bye.
Chao.